I heard whistling in the hops and whistled back. Big mistake. Posted by Arachnid5. It was a cold night in February. The night air bit at my cheeks as I pedaled on. I shouldn't have stayed so long at Eric's house, I thought to myself. Eric was my best friend, and we liked visiting with each other so we could talk and hang out. This particular night, we had gone over to play Overwatch as he had just got it on his PlayStation, and I was too poor to own one of my own. Well, we had gotten carried away, and before I knew it, the sun was going down. I kept pedaling, trying to focus on the dark road ahead of me. It was about a mile between our houses. It wasn't much, but some trailer houses and the hops. Whole fields of them. But they were currently all but poles right now, as the growing season hadn't yet started. Instead, there were clumps of string that once held up the plants. I came to a reluctant stop, as I needed to rest my legs. I wasn't in the best shape after all. I took a moment to look around. The hops seemed ominous in the dark. Tall poles with clumps of string between them. Some of the clumps were so big, they appeared like severed heads hanging from the support strings. It was just then that I heard it. A light, airy tune, somewhere far into the hop fields. It sounded mournful and sad. I looked around for the source of it, yet despite the lack of any actual hop plants to block my view, I could not hear where the whistling was coming from. I heard it again, and again. It was distant and airy, mournful and sad. Something felt very off, but I couldn't quite place it. I don't know why I decided to do it, but something deep down compelled me to whistle back, and so I did. I mimicked the airy, mournful tune, watching as my breath came out like smoke. There was a slight pause before I heard the tune again. It was still airy and mournful, but something was wrong. It sounded closer. It wasn't obvious at first, but in a closer listen, the tune was definitely closer. I got a sudden chill down my back as the wrongness of the situation filled my mind. Then I heard it again. It was even closer. So close, in fact, that I thought I could even place the direction it came from. I looked to my right and nothing. I could still hear the whistling coming from that direction, but I couldn't see anyone. All I saw was a large clump of strings in the distance, swaying lazily in the breeze. As I looked at that clump, I got a very bad feeling. My brain was screaming every second that I gazed upon that clump. As I heard the whistling get closer, I could have sworn I saw the clump move. Slowly and sluggishly, the clump appeared to almost glide through the air and come closer. I had enough and immediately hopped on my bike. I pedaled furiously, doing my best to get home as fast as possible, but again, my years of poor health decisions caught up to me, and I had to stop lest I pass out. I grounded to a halt and listened, trying to calm my furious panting. At first I heard silence, and then my heart sunk. The sad tune echoed out once more. It was still on my tail, and it sounded close. I looked into the hops, and this time I saw it. It was the same clump, and it was definitely moving, and faster now. I was still tired, but I had to keep going. So I jerked my bike up once more and pedaled for my life. The adrenaline coursing through my veins did a little bit to help, but not by much. I looked back for who knows what reason, and I immediately regretted doing so. I saw what it was. It wasn't a clump of strings, but a human head. What I thought was strings was actually matted black hair. I turned back around, not wanting to see more. I felt my spirits rise a little as I saw the entrance to my road. I quickly turned down it, but I could still hear the head whistling sadly behind me. It was close, too close. As I made it to my driveway, I dropped the bike, not caring to bring it inside. I quickly rushed up the steps and opened the screen door. I had locked it just in case. I fumbled around, trying to get out my spare house key. I would periodically bang on the door and yell, "Mom, open up, please." But I received no reply. She must have been sleeping. I heard the whistling fast approaching. I saw the head, a mess of long jet black hair that obscured the face of the monster. I continued to frantically look for our spare key. It wasn't in its usual spot, so instead I searched and searched the porch. My heart rate was rising as I heard it get even closer. If I could just get inside, I would be safe. My hopes died, however, as I saw the thing finally reach the lawn. It did not hesitate and flung itself forward with terrifying speed, letting out a spine-chilling screech. I shut my eyes hard and braced for the end. But then, silence. The screeching just went quiet. It didn't fade, but instead it just stopped instantly, as if someone had hit the mute button. I slowly cracked an eye open. I expected to see the head at the door, ready to rip me apart, but instead I saw nothing. There was no head. "Honey, is that you? Come in, it's late. The key's under the gnome." I looked at the small ceramic garden decoration we kept on our porch. Sure enough, when I lifted him up, there was the key. Had this all been a hallucination? Had I imagined it all? I laughed quietly to myself. Must have been some weird hallucination. I was cut off by a sound that made my heart drop, a soft, airy, and mournful tune. And it was coming from the other side of the